Coach, Coop, Coach, Coop, Coach, Coop, the Coach Coop Show. Coach, Coop, Coach, Coop, Coach, Coop, the Coach Coop Show. The Coach Coop Show. The Coach Coop Show. The Coach Coop Show. The Coach Coop Show.
Yo, what's going on? Miami Hurricanes fans and my college football family. Looking forward to a little Friday night Canes talk tonight. It's good to see everybody. Good to see everybody. We did it. It's Friday. It's Friday. Woo! I know a lot of you have weekends off, so hopefully you're ready to party it up, have a good time. But we'll keep it relatively short, sweet, and to the point tonight. But I did want to hang out with y'all and talk about this a little bit because I didn't realize that FanDuel had opened up betting for the win totals for all of the college football teams, it seems. And they have the Miami Hurricanes win total for 2025 set at 8.5. Now, I know that this is pretty much impossible to answer right now. I mean, the spring game hasn't even happened. We obviously want to see transfer portal additions and departures here during the spring window. That could tell us a lot. People want to continue to follow Carson Beck and his recovery process. But here's what I want to do. I want to do a little exercise, and I want y'all to kind of humor me and just see what you think. What we're going to do is say that I give you $1,000 and you have to put that 1K on the over or under win total for Miami at 8.5, but you have to do it tonight. So you have to take the information that you have available to you right now and you have to go ahead and make a decision, because with sports betting, look, I mean, these lines can move around. They can change. So we want to take it potentially while there could be more money that we could make that could be made here. And we want to go ahead and place this super early. So for example, if you wouldn't go in and take, if you were to go, you wouldn't make as much money if you took the over if Miami was already at 7, 8, 9 wins or some scenario like that. So we want to take it early. We want to take it now. And I just want to see what people think and what we can come up with here in April. Again, disclaimer, I know we need more information. It's far, far too early. We're just kind of doing this for fun. And we're not even doing game-by-game prediction. Like, we're going to pull up the schedule. We're going to look at them again. We're going to look at the bye week placement, home versus away, all that good stuff. We are going to look at it. But it's not a game-by-game prediction. Again, you can do that if you want. But that's not necessarily what we're trying to do here. We're just purely looking at win total, that 8.5 over or under. What are you feeling? And we're going to talk about it for a little bit tonight. My man Juice checking in. Good to see you, bro. Always a good time when Juice is in here hanging out. Juan Manuel, good to see you. We can talk about some spring additions as well. I do think that they should look for a receiver. I do also think they should possibly look for a linebacker. I do also think that they should even possibly grab another running back, in my opinion. So we can talk about it for sure. Lane Giggity 69 checking in. MS 79. Did you heal up? I know you had the surgery. You talked about it, in the chat. Hopefully you healed up. Hopefully everything's feeling much better. It took me a while, bro. Whenever I had that surgery, it took me a minute to recover. But hopefully yours went well and you're up and moving around like normal and you feel good. Tropigal in here as well. Good to see you, Tropigal. Forever Kane, Nick 305, Mob Jones, Robin B, Kendrick, Patty, the refs. I appreciate y'all being here. Ronald, if I missed anybody. It's better still, some pain. But what's crazy is Let MS and I talk about this for just a second. We both had a hernia surgery. I think you got the mesh as well, right? You put this in the chat a few weeks ago, so I don't feel like I'm putting your medical information out here. But we both had a hernia mesh put in, and man, it's been 2 years, and that area can still be a little sensitive, and there's still a portion of that area where it happened, where it was put in, that I can't feel it. So like I can poke it and I can move my hand around that area and there's no feeling there. But I had some complications. So hopefully yours heals up and you're normal. I'm not trying to freak you out. That was just my experience. Bahama, what's up, man? Good to see you. How about I put that money on Lagway till after the spring portal? Man, they're still hype on DJ, aren't they? They're still hype on him. Yeah, man, it's wild, Robin. It's wild. They're like, oh, yeah, give it a couple weeks. You'll be back to normal. 3 months, still hurts. 6 months, still can't sleep on my stomach. A year later, it took a year. It took a full year for me able to get back to normal after having that hernia mesh. It was wild. So anyways, I know we're here to talk some football and stuff tonight. I'll take you over and show you here on the FanDuel website. Again, that's just who I'm going to reference because that's who I like to use. If I'm not mistaken, I think that DraftKings might have Miami's over-under win total at 9.5. So they're actually potentially believing that Miami could win 10 or more. But we'll take a look over here at FanDuel for the win totals. Let's scroll down to ACC. We could look at some of the other schools just for fun here as well. But you'll see Miami over 8.5 wins or under 8.5 wins. So that is what they have it set at. It's plus 152 for under. So basically, if you don't know how all this works, it's okay. It's super simple. Basically, FanDuel believes that Miami is going to win 9 or more games, most likely. So that's why they've got it set at 8.5. It's why it's a plus 152 at under 8.5. But as I said, we're going to do a little experiment here. And I'm going to say I'm handing you $1,000 tonight. And if you think that Miami goes over, so Miami wins 9 or more, you would win $531. If you think they go under, you would walk away with $1,500.
This is what it takes.
You get it wrong,
to wear
you walk away with nothing.
Your helmet.
And you lost $1,000. So, Robin, thank you for the love. I appreciate that. Robin! I'll sit you atop your throne here in just a moment once we kick it back over here. But over-under at 8.5. I am just kind of curious. What do they have Florida State at? They have Florida State at 7.5. What's Clemson? 10? 9.5. Okay. Yeah, so they have Clemson at 9.5. All right, so 8.5, which makes a lot of sense. Heavy on the over, easy money. Okay, we're going to talk about it, and we're going to discuss kind of why some people feel that way this early. And that's the point of the exercise, is that we know it is early, and we're discussing it as such. We know it's early. We know we want more info, but we don't have it yet. But we got to place the bet tonight. It has to happen right now. 8.5 is no bueno. So let's go ahead and pull up the schedule and let's kind of talk about it and see if we can come to a conclusion tonight. So see if this works. Bingo. All right.
We ballin', boy.
What's that got to say?
This is what it takes to wear the
Hold on, we'll let it read it out.
on the side of your helmet.
Go Canes.
Tropical with the 305 taking over the throne. Thank you, Tropical. I hope you and Tropikid have been good. Thank you, Tropical. Zach Jones also with the 10 months. Thank you for the love, Zach. He says this is such a tough choice. I wouldn't touch it with a 10-foot pole. One upset and could be 9-3, drop a game, and that's 8-4. Very tough. There's a reason why they've got it at 8.5. When we look at this schedule, it puts you in a really tough position to have Miami at 8.5 here for the season. It makes a ton of sense. But if we want to look at it again, not necessarily a game-by-game breakdown, but let's do it in bite-sized pieces just to kind of give us a little bit of an idea. So we'll just focus on the left side here for a second. Notre Dame, it's going to be a home game. It is a night game. Is Notre Dame going to be as good as they were in 2024? We'll see. They're going to have some roster changes and some other things going on. Bethune-Cookman should be a win. USF should be a win. Florida, hey, we'll see that they are going to be improved over what they were last year, but I still don't think that they're going to be quite as good as people believe they're going to be, Florida fans specifically. But here's the thing. I do think if you were to ask me at this point in time and tell me if you think that this is fair or not, and I think there's going to be some people that do definitely agree. I try to be objective when it comes to this, but if you were to have me, speak on this now in April, I would say that Miami goes into that Florida State game at 3-1. Is that a wild take or not? I want to believe that Miami beats both Notre Dame and Florida, and I'm not saying that they're not capable, and I'm not saying that I won't change my mind by the time the season actually gets here. But right now, in April, I feel like that Miami splits that Notre Dame and Florida. They're either going to beat Notre Dame and lose to Florida, or they're going to open and lose to Notre Dame and then beat Florida. I don't necessarily right now believe that Miami wins both of those games, and I'm thinking about this schedule as a whole here. So in the back of my mind, I kind of have a magic number that I'm sitting at right now at this point in time. So it's kind of leading me into that. It could be very tricky, right? And it's that thing to where for anyone who gets actually angry over this discussion, don't get butthurt, man. There are going to be people that tell me I'm smoking crack. There's going to be people that say I agree. It doesn't matter. The thing is, if I would have told you in 2024, here's the thing though, hear me out. If I told you in 2024 that Miami was going to have the number one offense in the country, defense was going to struggle a little bit. But if I told you that Miami was going to lose to a Georgia Tech team with a one-armed quarterback that basically just ran the ball the entire game, you would have also said that's impossible, Coop. If you would have told me that Miami would have had a massive lead on Syracuse with the ACC championship game appearance on the line and they were going to lose it, you would have told me I'm insane.
Miami could lose to these
Fair?
teams. ND,
Fair?
UF, all, SMU, Pitt. That's 5 you could lose to. Not gonna lose them all, but that would require beating 3/5 teams in a 50-50 scenario and then beating everyone else.
That's fair, and that's like a really... I appreciate you being willing to set aside the Miami versus Georgia Tech stuff. Like a very objective, honest take from Zach Jones, and I appreciate that. Thank you for the 20, man. Thank you. I'm not saying that anybody is right or wrong because we're all just taking shots here and just guessing. That's it. But it's just really tough for me right now to believe that Miami handles business in both of those. I hope that I'm wrong. But you can, but we can't really say never, because if I told you what happened in 2024 is what happened game by game before the season started, if this were April in 2024 and I told you, hey, Miami's going to win 8, 9 plus, in a row, and then they're going to lose, how many did they lose? 3 of the last 4? You would have said, Coop, come on, bro. Come on, bro. That ain't happening. They ain't losing to Georgia Tech. No way they'd blow that lead to Syracuse. It's impossible. College football, man, anything could happen. Could happen. But I think that Miami ends up losing one of those games going into the Florida State game. I would like to think that they beat Florida State at Doak Campbell Stadium. I don't think that Florida State wins more than 7 or 8 games. I think FanDuel is about perfect at the over-under 7.5 for the Noles. But I do hate that being sandwiched in between the bye weeks. I don't hate the bye week before, especially if Miami does go 3-1. Give them a little bit of a reset before you travel to Doak. But I really heavily dislike the bye week after. I really do. How do you measure improvement? Wins. 11 is the magic number. And we're going to talk about that a little bit too. We're going to talk about what you guys would consider improvement, but I have a scenario that I want to play out there. Ronald says we always lose a game we're supposed to win. Yeah, the uh-oh game happened again. It did. So we'll see. So that's kind of just how I feel vibes here on the first half. Really, the second half of this schedule is actually pretty brutal, at least on paper right now. And it's tough for me because Miami gets to start out, they don't even leave the state of Florida until November. That's what's crazy. I mean, Notre Dame Hard Rock, Bethune Hard Rock, USF Hard Rock, Florida Hard Rock, 4 straight home games before they travel to Doak. Tallahassee, so state of Florida. Louisville at Hard Rock, state of Florida. Stanford at Hard Rock, state of Florida. Miami doesn't leave the state until November. So I see that as a big plus, minimal travel time if it is going to be an away game. But man, November games have not been kind to the Miami Hurricanes. When we look at 2024, Miami on a roll. Everybody's talking about the Canes conference championship, potential playoff appearance. You drop 3 of the last 4. The 2 games that you lose, minus the bowl game, of course, are in November. Miami struggles to kind of get over that late November hump. And what I really dislike here, Miami has to play Virginia Tech at Lane Stadium late November. Miami has to play Pitt in Pittsburgh late November. That is actually, I'm being honest. Line it up any day of the week. All day, every day. Miami's not afraid to play anybody. Obviously, it's so silly. Of course they'll play anybody anytime. But man, as a fan, that is a little scary. I'm not really worried about Syracuse. They're not going to have Kyle McCord anymore. SMU, I'm absolutely worried about. Rhett Lashley in Dallas, Texas to kick off that November game there. I'm absolutely scared of that one. Again, Virginia Tech away, Pitt away late. There are several games late in the season that are very scary for the Miami Hurricanes. Mob Jones says, I'm not worried about none of our opponents at all. Hey, man, drop that 1K on that over for sure then. Drop it on that over. BT has lost way too much to worry about. Maybe. But we'll kind of back it out here and look at a whole because, as I said, I'm not doing game-by-game breakdown. It's too early. We'll do that. So we're kind of just looking at this thing as a whole and just trying to discuss it a little bit. Over, under on 8.5. So do you think Miami is going to win 9 or more? Or are they going to win 8 or less? Which side of the fence are you on? If I booted up FanDuel and I gave you $1,000 and you had to put it on one of them, what are you thinking? Again, we know there'll be some additions through the portal, spring portal. But we also know there will be some departures. Obviously, Miami's working hard to improve. New defensive coordinator, some other new faces on the staff, trying to revamp things a little bit. Mario Cristobal seems to have addressed where the issues were. But right now, it's Miami versus Miami. So, of course, it seems like everything's clicking, everything is going well, and it very well could be. But we got to see once they actually take the field and start playing some games. That's when we'll really know what Heatherman's defense looks like, right? Oh, man, them DBs, look at what they're doing at practice. Okay, we got to see what they do against Notre Dame. We got to see if Heatherman can make good in-game adjustments if Florida jumps out early and Lagway is a problem. So we won't know those things till the season gets here. What are we thinking? I'm not asking what you want to happen. So you say, Coop, I ain't about that BS. I ain't taking anything less than 12-0. That's all fine and dandy. But I'm giving you $1,000 and an opportunity to make some money. So where are you going to put it? Think with this, with your brain. Set the fan to the side here for a second. And typically, a lot of times, Vegas and stuff, we're just being honest here, they're pretty spot on. So they're feeling 9. FanDuel is right at about 9 wins then for the Miami Hurricanes, putting them at 9-3 on the season, or it could be 10-2, 11-1, so on. Good to see you, Duck. Good to see you. Cypher says 9 wins seems very doable. I've been very vocal in saying that I think Carson Beck was a great addition. I think he'll be ready to go. Mario Cristobal continues to say that he's ahead of schedule. Still probably won't see him any in the spring, but he should definitely be ready to go for the season. You have to make some assumptions here. I believe that they will attack the spring portal pretty heavily in some specific areas of need, and I think that those will get addressed. So I'm kind of factoring all of that in, making some assumptions, believing those things will happen. So let's see, over or under on 8.5. What are you putting the money on? We can ground and pound definitely, and Beck is good. All right, Robin says 9 or more for sure. So Robin going with the over.
This is what it takes.
Sage going with the over.
To wear the U on the side of your
MS
helmet.
with the over.
Honest take. 9-3 with losses to ND, SMU, and Pitt. Wouldn't bet over cause you could drop to say all. Floor. 8-4. Ceiling 10-2.
Okay. Zach Jones always gives real honest, straight up takes when it comes to the Canes. From a Georgia Tech fan, again, I can't gain more respect for somebody. Thank you, Zach. I appreciate the 5, my man. That's big time. Okay. Losses to Notre Dame, SMU, and Pitt. So he's being a little more specific than what I'm willing to be at the moment, but it's all just talk for fun. Floor 8-4, ceiling 8-2. Okay. Or 10-2, excuse me. That's fair. Ronald says over 9. Kendrick 11-1. MS says minimum 10. But you guys you're making this statement with your brain, right? You're not speaking out of fandom, correct? I'm just making sure we're establishing that. We're talking money here. Seems like we have more leadership in keeping people accountable. Our offense can't drop off that bad, right? Our defense can't be as bad as last year, right? You'd like to think, 11 over, 9 or 10 wins seems logical. 7 or 8 is what will probably happen. Okay, if Beck stays healthy, over. Yeah, again, got to make some assumptions. UF, Notre Dame, SMU are tough games. So are the late games up north against Pitt and Virginia. Yeah, like if I'm looking at the schedule, some of my biggest concerns, look, you can call me crazy if you want. That's fine. Even with the losses and things and the kind of season that they had, Virginia Tech and Pitt that late, I still always believe that Miami has an game. It's usually a conference game. It's usually a November game. Again, we saw it happen in 2024. So I would be a little worried about Virginia Tech and Pitt. In no way, shape, or form would I think that they drop both of those games unless there's some sort of catastrophic meltdown that happens in November for the Canes. Beck re-injures his elbow or something, or, let's, I try to not be superstitious, but let's knock on some wood just in case. Don't need anybody looking back and blaming Coop for something like that. Assuming people stay healthy, and all that good stuff, I don't think they would drop both those, but I would be concerned about them. SMU would be an actual real concern, a worry, potentially. And then, as everyone has already kind of noted, Notre Dame, we'll see. Florida, we'll see. So it puts me in a tough position for really about 3 games. About 3 games at this moment that I would be kind of actually concerned about. If I were to be completely open and honest with y'all, not picking specific games, because the focus is win total. Win-loss record, win total here. You don't even have to give me games. Don't worry about it. Unless you want to. I think at this point in time, I would be at around 9 wins. We're talking regular season here. I think that I would be somewhere around 9 wins. So I think that when it comes to the FanDuel over-under at 8.5, will it show it from here? Can y'all see it? Yeah. There we go. You can see it. I think I would take the over. I think I'd take the over on it. It is scary because as a Canes fan, we have this PTSD, things falling apart. It seems like everything's right there in front of Miami, and they just can't seem to put themselves in the driver's seat. But I think that Miami would win 9 or more. I think so. Way too early to say the U gets bombed. You're not worried about not one team except Notre Dame. Okay, fair. And maybe Virginia Tech. Virginia Tech could be sneaky late in the year. Again, so could Pitt. We rocked Notre Dame like 2017. If you, because, I keep saying that I think Miami drops either the Notre Dame or Florida game. I'm looking for interaction here. If Miami had to lose one, would you rather Miami beat Notre Dame, or would you rather Miami beat Florida? If they could only beat one. Oh, this is about to be good. Would you rather Miami beat Notre Dame or Florida? Don't say both. Come on, humor me for a second. Notre Dame or Florida? Both are non-con games. Not going to be an ACC opponent. Miami got the best of Florida last year. We remember the Notre Dame beatdown. That was a good time. That's 7:30 ABC on a Sunday. So the world's going to be watching that Miami Notre Dame game. A lot of eyes on that football game. Don't forget that is a Sunday night game on ABC. Personally, I'd have to say Florida. I have to say Florida because that's another Florida team. The Florida fan base, if I had to say, if there was one fan base that really pissed me off more than just about any other, it's Florida fans. I'm sorry. There are some really cool Florida fans that hang out in these streams, but the majority of Florida fans I cannot stand. I can't. And they've been running their mouth. They continue to act like the 41-17 didn't count. It didn't matter. It didn't happen. A bunch of what ifs and hypothetical scenarios, acting like they wouldn't be running their mouth if they had beat us 41-17 in the swamp. They'd still be chirping. They'd still be yapping about it. We're doing that because we have the right to do that until September 20th when we see them again. So don't think I'm taking shots at all y'all, right? There are cool Florida fans, but I'm talking about the majority of them that I interact with on social media, primarily X. Florida fans, man, it's insane. Delusional. They don't want to live in reality. So I think I would have to take Florida if it had to be a loss to one of those two, Notre Dame or Florida. I would say the loss to Notre Dame, bounce back, go on a run, beat Bethune, beat USF, beat Florida, get some momentum going into the bye week to then take on Florida State. I would prefer a win over Florida over Notre Dame if I had to pick one. No love for Notre Dame either, though. Don't get it twisted. What's up, my man? Good to see you, bro. Florida logically, but Notre Dame is too sweet on Catholic Sunday.
On the side of your
Oh,
helmet.
boy.
16-1 national champs. Only loss is the ACC-CG. And still 0 ACC titles.
You know what? Speaking of, let me get off track here for just a second. Thank you for the big 5, Zach Jones. I appreciate the love. Excellent thing to bring up. Excellent thing to bring up because I have not looked at this. Conference winners. Who do we think FanDuel has as the favorite to win the ACC? My guess would be Clemson. It's got to be Clemson, right? They're not going to put Miami up there. It's never happened. One conference championship appearance since they've been in the ACC. No way they're going to put Miami up there. Too many question marks. They're probably locking in Dabo and Clemson. I have not looked at this. Yes, we play Florida at Hard Rock, right? Again, Miami doesn't leave the state of Florida until November. They get 4 home games to start the season. No excuse really to not go into that Florida State game undefeated, 4-0. I just feel like it's going to be tough. You're sick of hearing about Clemson already? Well, let's meet them in the ACC championship game and shut them and their fan base up. Clemson is the favorite. Clemson is currently the favorite to win the conference, but Miami is number 2, right behind them. So Miami is currently the second favorite to win the ACC behind Clemson. I don't think that that's a wild take, given the ups and downs that we've seen with some of these other teams like SMU. I don't, even though I talk about being worried about them in that game, I don't think that they play for another conference championship this season. Some of these other teams could be up and down. They got Georgia Tech in there. Georgia Tech's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. They got Louisville in there at plus 600. Miami second. North Carolina. Boy. I don't know. Maybe they shock us.
This is what it takes
Maybe.
to wear the U on the side of your helmet.
Putting $100 on GTRN plus 1,400 at fifth best is great.
I mean, and now that's to win the ACC, not make an appearance. But yeah, man, plus 1,400. That's wild. That's wild. And that's why we were kind of doing this little exercise and this little scenario, because I'm not pushing telling people to bet. We're just kind of looking at the odds because I find it interesting. You could put money on these things early in April, and there would be potential for some money there. See how much if you put 100 on Georgia Tech? I got you. That's easy math since you're plus 1,400. So yeah, $100 is $1,400. Thank you for the 2, Zach. So I personally, yes, I think that I take the hold on. I hope not. I don't want to live in a world where Ohio State wins back-to-back national championships with our wide receiver. They got him as a favorite right now. Texas, Oregon, the usual. Georgia, I don't know how they're going to do it without Carson Beck. Penn State, Notre Dame up there. And again, it shows how much of an opportunity Miami has early on in the season, even though Notre Dame, there's talks about quarterback and other things with the team. They're going to be highly ranked, and that is going to be such a big game. I used to always think that first game was more important than just about anything else. That's a little bit of a stretch, but I would always say, hey, Miami needs to win that first game no matter what, because they need positive momentum going into the season. But I found that at the very least with Miami, it doesn't really seem to matter. What really seems to be more important is just playing well all season, especially late, and really handling business in those conference games. So obviously it'd be best to open with a win, but that alone is not going to just crash and tank the season. As long as Mario Cristobal has the locker room, it's not an issue where guys are fighting and arguing, and it's just one game. So that's unlikely to happen anyways. I think that those guys are close. You've seen the interviews, you've talked to them. Losing that first game would not be the end of the world.
To wear the U on the side of your helmet.
I would bet $1,000 on GT's over. Check it out.
$800. Ain't no way I would. No. No. But they got them at 7.5. They have y'all at the same over-under win total as Florida State. Think about that, Zach. They have Georgia Tech at the same over-under win total as the Florida State Seminoles. 7.5. You disagree, boss man? That's all right. Look, I don't want to seem like I'm downplaying the importance of the first game of the season, but Miami has been in a position to where they have handled business in that first game and then still tanked late. What I feel like what's more important to me this season is finishing strong, going through that ACC gauntlet, leaving the state of Florida and winning those
Check
November
the schedule.
games.
If GT don't win 8+, I'd cut my own manhood off.
We don't need any videos of sausage removal, Zach Jones. But we'll see. 8+ for Georgia Tech. We'll look at it at some point. We'll look at it. Thank you for the 5, man. Dang, that's ain't no way I'm removing manhood for any win total for Miami. Sorry. Thank you for the 5, though. But yeah, I really want Miami to push and do well late in the season and finally win all those November games, man. Because again, Miami this season also, you're going to have 4 non-conference games to kick it off, and then it's going to be all ACC. And again, they don't get a break after that. I mean, Florida State, second bye week, and then you got to do Louisville, Stanford, SMU, Syracuse, NC State, Virginia Tech, and Pitt. So again, I hate that placement with the bye week, but I still, right now, purely talking win total here, I would take Miami at over the 8.5. That doesn't mean that I believe Miami goes to the ACC championship game, makes the college football playoffs. I'm not going to tell you, hey, if you're saying 9-3, who are the 3 losses to? I don't know. It's too early for me to personally make a prediction, but I think looking at the schedule on paper, April, you got a gun to my head. You say, Coop, you got to pick one. You got to put this $1,000 on over or under. I'm taking the over. I'm taking the over. And again, I'm known for being pretty objective with that kind of stuff. So that's just kind of where I'm at. He cursed Georgia Tech. Did he curse them with that one? Is it the FSU dog poop situation again? Ohio State lost their DC to Penn State. Yes, there's been movement. There has been movement. But we also have a new defensive coordinator who we're hoping is an upgrade, but we have to see. Obviously, he had Minnesota's numbers up there, which would technically be with lesser talent, but I guess also playing lesser opponents. So again, with Heatherman, I have to see it. I said before that I like his energy. I do like a different face in that room other than Guidry, because I'm sorry, Guidry did have to go. Actually, I'm not sorry. The man had to go. But we have to see. I can't really say that it won't get worse. Anything can happen, but we got to see it from Heatherman for sure. CBS predicts Miami losses to both Notre Dame and Florida. What's crazy, though, Joseph's Comics, is I don't think Miami would drop both, but I understand their reasoning. Because for Miami, again, if you were to go off of predictions in April, we don't even get to see the chemistry with Carson Beck and this team in spring.
Question co-op.
And that's
Are you interested in doing film breakdown for the 2025 season? I have a connection that has all 22 film for any team on a year-to-year basis. Gonna do GT breakdowns after every game.
Okay. Possibly. Yeah. Possibly. Thank you for the 10, Zach. Shoot me a DM and let's talk about it. Yeah, send over a DM, and if I don't answer it, send me another one. You know how I am about DMs, bro. If I don't answer, send me another one. But we'll talk about it. Yeah, man, for sure. Yeah, we should do some content this year. More than just an inside insight. We should do more. Ohio State lost a few big coaches, but made some NFL hires too. And that's the thing, Cypher, is a lot of people only want to look at what teams lost, but we don't want to talk about who came in and if they could be an upgrade or even on par with, the departures. So we'll see. We'll see. It's funny because then I'm trying to be neutral here. We're hyping up a guy it's his first year at Miami as new defensive coordinator, right? So we'll laugh and we'll say, hey, yeah, y'all won a natty, and maybe that's a pretty good reason, right? Well, you won a natty with this guy. But we're also hyping up a guy that's coming in. It's his first year here. So, hey, they're probably pretty excited about their additions and stuff too. Hey, thank you, Travis. I'm feeling pretty good, man. I'm feeling pretty good. Finally. It's been years of feeling like Dookie. I'm feeling pretty good. Feeling pretty good, bro. I hope you've been doing well. But yeah, it's interesting. I get why they would be hesitant. Miami shit the bed late in the season last year, couldn't get it done, and it's understandable. It's understandable. But I wanted to throw another hypothetical out there since we've kind of addressed the over/under on the win total at 8.5. Coop saying over, most of you over as well, with a few people saying under. And it's interesting too. I'll tell you this. It's so funny the difference in the YouTube community and the X community. Over on X, it seems like the more vocal fans are negative. So I put this question out there on X. Hey, what do you think about win total for Miami? Over, under 8.5. The overwhelming majority was under. Most people on X that were Canes fans, we're talking Canes fans here, had Miami at 7 or 8 wins in 2025. So it's interesting. The majority of you here have Miami at 9 or more. The majority on X, Canes fans, had Miami at 8 or less. It's very interesting. Coop, if Miami goes 4-0, you owe us an apology. I ain't apologizing to nobody. I'll be partying it up, having a good time. I'll be happy. They better start 4-0. Come on, man. They better. But yeah, we'll see. We'll see. I wanted to put another random hypothetical out there just to get a feel for the community and see what you guys think. Because Mario Cristobal, 5 wins, 7 wins, 10 wins, seems to be on an upward positive trajectory here with the team. Meaning that I think in 2025, Miami must make an ACC championship game appearance. They don't necessarily have to win it, but I think that they do have to at least be in the conference championship game. But here's what I want to ask you. Miami went 10-3 if we count the bowl game in 2024. A lot of Canes fans were more upset than happy, but it's just because of the way it played out. It felt like a lot was wasted. You had the number 1 offense. You had an NFL caliber quarterback in a college uniform. Defense just blew it. And there were times where the offense dropped the ball where, they kind of went on a scoring drought. But either way, people felt like it should have been the year to make it to the ACC championship game. And it didn't happen. So people kind of really didn't focus on double-digit win season, most wins under Mario Cristobal. People didn't really focus on that side of it, the good things. There were a lot of good takeaways from 2024. 10-3. What would you see the 2025, and hang with me. Would you see the 2025 season as an improvement if Miami actually went 9-3 in the regular season, but won a bowl game? You see what I'm saying? So Miami went 10-2 in the regular season in 2024, but lost the bowl game, making them 10-3. What if Miami loses an extra regular season game in 2025, but wins the bowl game? Something that they've not done since 2016, and it would be Mario Cristobal's first bowl game win. The reason why I posed this question and put it out there is because I do believe that would be spun as positive progress, because that you could focus on the bowl game win and it being something that's not happened since 2016. Miami's lost 6 straight bowl games because they've missed a few, of course. So if Miami had the exact same record in 2025, but it was a bowl game win with an extra regular season loss, would you see that as improvement? And right, it's a loaded question as well, because, okay, well, Coop, tell me this. Coop, who are the 3 losses? Who did Miami lose to? I understand that could change your response a little bit. But I think if we just look at it as a whole, we're just talking about win-loss total here, I'm going to say that's not an improvement. I don't want to focus on again, most of the time, meaningless bowl games. If it doesn't involve the college football playoffs, I'm still going to be pissed that Miami lost because I never want them to lose a football game. It doesn't feel good. I don't care if it's the starters or not the starters. If it's somebody only playing one half of a football game and then sitting out, it still sucks. It doesn't feel good, but it's not that big of a deal to me. I'm just being brutally honest. I would rather have more regular season wins, because if Miami has 3 losses, if I think they split the Notre Dame Florida, that means they have 2 ACC losses, probably not going to be in the ACC championship game. And I think there has to be a conference championship appearance in 2025. I'm just saying, for it to be considered an improvement, I think that is the next step, even though this upcoming schedule on paper looks more difficult. You can still say that the addition of Carson Beck, even if he was injured, right, coming in, wasn't able to participate in spring, was still ranked as the #1 transfer portal quarterback as soon as he hit that portal. The guy has tons of experience in big-time games, and he should be able to come in and make an immediate impact. And even if he's just pretty good, we talked about this. If he's just pretty good, that's hopefully enough with Miami's run game and an improved defense. Better be improved. I think the next step is ACC championship game appearance, and if they don't win it, yeah, it sucks. But I think that Mario Cristobal has to make it to it. Is that fair? Or is that asking for too much in 2025? I know it doesn't always continue to climb. It doesn't mean that just because he won 5, 7, and then 10, that it just automatically means, okay, well, he's going to win 11 or 12. That's just not how the world works. He could take a step back and win 8, and then in 2026, he could go 12-0. It could happen. But if we want to continue to see positive progress, depending on the layout of the ACC, how these games play out, we have to see how many conference games you need to win to even make it there. But I think no matter what, it's got to be an appearance, because Miami fans, man, we're chomping at the bit. We're foaming at the mouth here. When it comes to the ACC, we're a little bit of a laughing stock. We just are. The whole offseason champions, this and that. Miami's got to make it to another ACC championship game. And if Mario Cristobal wants to show that he's that caliber of a coach, I think that he's got to take the Canes there. And I think that with the money that's been spent, if they're going to attack the spring transfer portal window in the way that I believe that they are, I know young receiver room. I think they'll possibly bring in a guy. Fletcher, Lyle, maybe bring in another guy if Wheatley Humphrey isn't that dude. You brought in a tight end, plus you've got Lofton. If the defense can be pretty good, I think it's got to be. Because if not, I'm telling you that I've said this so many times, Mario Cristobal can't afford to take a step backwards. He would not get fired. He would be fine, but the Miami fan base would lose their minds. It's got to be minimum 10, I think, for everybody to be happy. You got a taste of the double-digit wins. I think it's got to be that again. I think it's got to be ACC championship game appearance. Guess I should read the feedback, right? Y'all tell me, Coop, you're crazy. What's up, Sean? Somebody popped in late. There's OG Barry. OG Barry says it's been a minute, but over, damn it, over. Trying to will it into existence. I like it, Barry. Which is worse, 3 losses to unranked teams or 2 losses to ranked teams? I really want ACC wins more than just about anything. I want to dominate the conference. So
Hope you and family stay safe from those storms.
Poochie.
Last year at this time I was 8 to 12 wins. This year 9 or 10. Can we improve defense enough to offset loss of Cam? I always want that first game to set momentum. Who agreed to these bye weeks?
I know, right? How did you do bye week, game, bye week? How? We need to protest. There needs to be some kind of petition or something, Tucci. I think so. I would say, no, I ain't agreeing to this. Nope, not doing it. We're just not going to play if we're going to have to sandwich these bye weeks here. I'm not doing it. Thank you, Tucci, for the Big Ten. Well said. I appreciate you, my friend. Cypher, I want conference wins. So if we're talking about 3 losses to unranked teams, I don't think I could stomach it. If we're talking 2 losses to ranked teams, that could very easily be Notre Dame and Florida, which would be non-con games. Would still suck, but would be non-conference games. Or maybe you split it, drop one to Notre Dame or Florida, and you lose to one random ranked ACC team. I don't think I could handle the 3 to unranked. That's just me, though. I don't think I could. Sounds mean, but we're back to square one. Fair. Okay. Oh, you said it backwards? We're going to be ground and pound this year, control the clock. I would love to see it, man. Play. Oh, this sounds wild. Play some boring football. Let's pound the rock, you know. Let's pound the rock. Carson Beck doesn't have to be Cam Ward. He won't be Cam Ward. You know, I'm not expecting that. Just be pretty good, bro. Be consistent. And let's pound the rock. I like it. I do like it. And, man, I feel like, I don't know, like, Fletcher is obviously a popular running back amongst the fan base, but I feel like Fletcher doesn't get enough love. I feel like Fletcher could really be that dude. I really do. And I think that he's set up to have a great season with some of the returning guys on the offensive line and the way that they've addressed that position there. I think Fletcher could have a big year. Clemson at 9.5 is a no-brainer. You taking the over? Forgot what you was thinking. That's me. That's me too. Every couple minutes, Cypher. Yeah, and I think, Sean, that they still might explore bringing in another experienced receiver. But then outside of that, yeah, let it rip. Let the young guys play. And let's run it. Let's run it. Fletcher is not popular. No returning players are. I know how you feel on that. I know how you feel about that. Yeah, I don't know why. I've seen the same, Sage, and I've had people argue that with me in the streams, saying, Coop, you got it wrong. Lyle is going to jump Fletcher. Man, I don't know where it's not disrespectful towards Fletcher. It's just, where do people think that Fletcher gets jumped? Come on, man. Come on. Really? Hey, what's up, Joe? Joe, I want to see your response. I'm going to ask you the same question. I know you missed kind of the meat of it, but FanDuel has Miami's over-under win total at 8.5. You taking the over, you taking the under. $1,000 tonight. You got to put it on one or the other. Is Miami winning 9 or more, or are they winning 8 or less? Where you at? Over, under on the 8.5, Joe. Let me know. Running back room is going to be fire. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah, and I think Fletcher did get a little faster. You know, he spoke on that, I believe, in an interview after practice. He's feeling great. He looks great. And I'm ready to see Fletcher this season for sure. Oh, yeah. And, you know, the thing is Lofton could take some snaps at running back, but I think that you're really going to see the focus be tight end. Because that is his position at the end of the day. I know he's an athlete, I know he can line up all over the field, and Lofton took some snaps at running back a lot last year during spring, but it was more out of necessity. Like, Miami was really beat up in the running back room. They needed some extra bodies, and Lofton stepped up and he did his thing, and he showed that he can take snaps at running back and make an impact. But as far as during the games, I think you would probably see him focus at the tight end position, and I think he's going to have a heck of a year too. Pringle's going to get a lot of burn. We'll see. We'll see. Lofton All-American. Yeah. So I was just kind of curious how y'all felt about that little hypothetical scenario. I would not consider that improvement. The bowl game win is just kind of whatever. Give me conference championship game appearance and give me the over. Give me the over. Maybe 9. So over, you're right where I'm at, Joe. I said I'm hovering at 9 wins. All off-season 2024. You remember, Joe? I said 9. Going from 9 to 10 feels like the Grand Canyon. I can't do it. I'm at 9-3. We combed over the schedule. We ran the numbers. I said it's 9. It's 9. It's 9. It's 9. The night before the Florida game, I changed it to 10. I did an official full season prediction, and we changed it, and we said, you know what, 10-2. So we've got the win total right the last 2 years, 2023 and 2024. We'll see if we can get it right again in 2025. I didn't get all the games right. I'm not going to pretend like I got the wins, losses correct as far as game by game. But win total, the win total number, we got it right 2 seasons in a row. So let's see if we can do it again this year. If you were to ask me today, I'm at 9. Does that mean ACC championship game? Heck, I don't know. I don't know. We'll see. We got to see how everybody else does, you know. But yeah, I do think so. I do think so, Mob. Fletcher was not 100% last year. Exactly. So imagine him now 100%, being the bell cow, being RB1. Oh, yeah. Clemson made it at 9-3. That's the thing. That's possible. You don't have to be undefeated. You don't have to win every single ACC game. Most of the time, anyways. We'll just have to see how the conference plays out. Yep. And I still think, again, it's interesting because I got a lot of pushback a couple weeks ago when I said that I think they might bring in another portal running back. I understand that people are hyped about the young guys. I don't personally think, it's just my opinion, that they see a ton of playing time in actual games. But I think it depends on what the spring portal looks like. If there's not a lot of guys that seem like they're a fit, because it's not just talent. There's the money side. Is this guy a fit for the team? Is he a fit for this offense with the, his style of running? Is he someone who's a fit for the locker room? You got to look at everything. And I think that if there is another guy there, they might bring in somebody. And again, the same applies to the wide receiver position. We'll see. Same applies to linebacker. I think that they definitely look for another experienced linebacker. And you just have to see what's available. The spring portal last year was pretty hot. There was a lot of big names in there, some good takes. And Miami had some big additions. But we got to see what the one looks like this year. And it's coming up, man. I mean, heck, the spring game is that's next week, right? April 12th? Dang, bro. Okay, so spring game, just as a heads up, as a reminder, spring game is next Saturday. So we will be live for that at Cobb Stadium. We'll do the live reaction just like we do on game days, just like we do all the spring games. So we will be live for the spring game. What's up, Brandon Brown? Good to see you, bro. I still think they should have Carson Beck come out. This might be a bad idea, but you want to talk about hyping the fans up. have Carson Beck come out. Either have him throw like a little screen pass, or if he's not ready, don't push it. I'm just saying. Have him come in for like a run play. Have him hand the ball off to Fletcher or Lyle. And man, the Canes fans will lose their minds. Like, have him suit up, have him come out. Hey, all the announcers and stuff are going to be like, Carson Beck, is he ready? He's healed up? What's going on here? He comes out, even if it's just to hand the ball off, man. Just seeing him suited up in the orange and green, like ready to go, man, it'd be crazy. What about a bootleg? He's going to throw 3 picks. I don't think he would actually play. I think that'd be silly, right? Because, I mean, the most they really have him doing is walking through the drills, so he can visualize everything, still go through some reps, see the offense. And they're having him do stuff where he's like on the ground and he's throwing the football up in the air. They're still making sure they let him get healed up. What channel is it going to be on? I don't know if they've announced that yet. I think last year it was ACC Network or ACC Network Extra, but there was obviously a lot of extra hype going into that spring game with the addition of Cam Ward and everything. So I don't know. ACC Network or ACC Network Extra, most likely. I'll try to have links if they're available. Hopefully they will be. I'm with you, Mob. I think that has to be what happens. Yeah, and that's true. I mean, there were some people that were upset last year because they said they wanted to go, and Cobb Stadium just couldn't really support that many people. But I guess if fans continue to show support and they continue to show up and they're very vocal about it, maybe they'll realize that more fans want to go. And if more fans start showing up, maybe that can kind of, lead to bigger places. Oh, I know. He's bored. He wants to be out there throwing it. Hey, I appreciate you hanging out, Robin. The off-season has been rough this year. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. Off-season has been rough because without Beck throwing the football around during spring, it's not like the other positions aren't exciting, right? We have a ton of really exciting guys to talk about. But it's just, people are kind of just waiting. People want actual football to be here. They want it to be the season. I get it. They at the very least, they want the spring game. So there's just not been quite as much excitement. It's going to be a long off season. It's been kind of rough. And I'm ready for real football to get here. You know what I'm saying? Because that's all I've got. I keep trying to come up with these hypotheticals and stuff, and it's just like, man, it's rough. We need actual football, but at the same time, not yet, because let's let Beck get healed up. Have the spring game at a local high school. I mean, they've done that before, and it was fine. It was fine. Notre Dame game will be the benchmark. Right now, Joe, I got them losing one of the two of those. Notre Dame or Florida. We'll see. Have the Cavender twins on the show. 50-yard line. But yeah, like I said, that's all I got. That's all I got. I kind of hate when the shows go by this quick, but I don't have anything else to really kind of go over. I just wanted to do a couple hypotheticals. Reminder for the spring game next Saturday. And we'll keep pushing. We'll try to get through this off season, virtual season coming up June. What if you lose both? I mean, that blows, but it's not the end of the world. I mean, if you believe that Miami wins 10 again, 2 losses are 2 non-con games, run the table in the ACC, it would sting. It would still kind of suck when it happens, but you would want to win out ideally. But you could drop those games. You could. Again, I think at the very least they win one of them. I don't think they drop both. We're doing hypotheticals, so I like the question. But I don't think that they drop both. And game ones are really, I think, kind of unpredictable, especially when they're these games where it's kind of like a unique situation where it's, it's on a Sunday. These games could go either way. They could go either way. What if they win both? I still think Miami, we looked at those late November games, Joe, the away game to Virginia Tech, the away game to Pitt. Miami has to show me that they can win those November games. Yeah, correct. Yeah, and there's nothing wrong with this take, right? Joe is someone who is a big Miami fan. It's just being open and honest, It's we talked about last year, the uh-oh game. The game that you should win, but you don't. It was Georgia Tech last year. And then, you blow the lead against Syracuse. It happens. It happens, It's life. What's up, Sandy? But yeah, that's a real big focus for me, Brandon. If they're going to lose, get it out of the way, regroup, finish strong in that ACC gauntlet, win the November games, get to the ACC championship game. That's really what I want to see this year. Yeah, I lost to Virginia Tech. Yeah, Virginia Tech probably loses like 6 games, 7 games. Yeah, that would make sense. That'd make sense. What's up, Dion? Yeah. I got them circled, man. VT, Pitt, SMU. Man, I got them games circled. Yeah. Yeah, I agree. I agree, Henry. It's that's what I want to see. That's what I want to see. It would still suck, but I mean it. It's not the end of the world. I'm not gonna break down. Give me 24 hours, and I'd be like, okay, let's get back in there and handle business. That would be sick. That'd be sick, Mob. Yep. 1K for Fletcher. Oh, yeah, and you know that Lashley, man, he's going to give it everything. He is. And, I don't know, is he going to be kind of riding that high horse off making an ACC championship game? Is he humble? I don't know. He's not afraid to take chances. SMU can be a fun football team to watch, for sure. Somebody catch you up. Dion, basically, over-under 8.5 win total for Miami. I'm taking the over. I'm hovering around 9, so that kind of puts me in the over position. I think they split the Notre Dame or Florida game, but we're not doing game-by-game prediction, just kind of win total. And then we did some hypotheticals and some other things. I thought they were fun topics. But it's the off season, Dion. So these streams have been like an hour, and it's been done. They've been short. Yeah, South Florida was just interesting because, man, there was a lot of hype going into that after them hanging with Bama. And then, I brought that guy on the show. Great guy. Great guest. Really awesome dude. But, man, he really hyped up USF and talked about how, Miami fans didn't know what was coming, and USF is trending up. Plus, they're about to leave and go to a bigger conference and all this stuff. And, well, we know how that stuff worked out. So, I'm doing good, Ryan. I'm doing good. We're about to call tonight. I'm just at this point, I'm small talking, and I'm getting way off topic here. We're gonna call tonight. Wrap it up for this Friday night. Great discussions. I appreciate the feedback and everybody participating when it comes to the topics. If you're watching this after the fact, please feel free to chime in the comment section, or if you're jumping in late, go back, watch the video once it uploads. Let me know over or under on the 8.5. Right now, again, we went into it knowing that you have very limited information. Spring game ain't happened. Spring portal hasn't opened up yet. we wanted it to be difficult. And I wanted to put you on the spot and myself. I was split. If I'm at 9, I'm close to, I could be persuaded possibly to 8. So I'm right there. I'm right there. What's up, Nick? We're hitting the door. We're hitting the door. George, Nick, we're heading out. But it's good to see y'all. We're talking hockey. Good old George. Good to see you, Nick. I appreciate you, bro. Top dono of the night, Zach Jones, Georgia Tech fan, showing massive love tonight. Thank you very much for the big 20, Zach. Tucci with the 10 straight to the PayPal. Thank you for the love, as always, Tucci. Tropigal with the 305. Robin kicking it off with the 2. Thank y'all for the love on this Friday night. And spring game next Saturday. I will be here. And hopefully a lot of you will be here and we'll have a good time. And maybe we'll see Carson Beck. Maybe. He's going to hand it off. He's going to hand it off, but that's fine. That's fine. I'll see y'all soon. Yeah, I saw that, Jake. If you guys didn't know, I never made an official announcement here on YouTube. I am an Atlanta Braves fan. It didn't click for me when I tried to follow the Orioles in 2024. I don't have an MLB team, so it's not a bandwagon thing. I said, okay, what makes sense? I live in East Tennessee. Just did some Googling, and everybody said Braves. Braves kind of represents a large portion here of kind of the southern region until you get to Florida teams. And I was like, Tennessee, let's do Atlanta. Let's do the Braves. I'm 2 hours from the stadium. Maybe I could go to a game. They started out, 0-7? Like one of the worst starts ever. No team has ever started. It's been bad. It's been bad. You got Profar suspended for 80 games. They can't hit. They can't pitch. But I think they did win tonight. The Marlins, right? I think that they beat the Marlins tonight. I think Ozuna hit a home run. Who else? Couple guys. I think I had 10 strikeouts or more. I'm trying to watch MLB, man. I'm trying to watch it a little bit. So I wasn't feeling the Marlins. I wasn't feeling the Tampa Bay Rays. I wasn't feeling the Orioles. Trying to go for a team that's close to me. And we'll see. It's not about being a bandwagon or this or that. I just picking a team that's close to home and see if it feels right. If they lose a bunch of games, so be it. We'll just see if the feeling is there, you know? You know what I mean? But bad start for sure. Bad start.